Hey, you guys, let's get into your reading. And of course, if there's anything you need from me, you can find those details down below in the description box. And of course, that includes the link to our sponsor, Psychic Source, because Psychic Source has been a very valuable and resourceful tool for this community and even for I. So if you click the link down below in the description box using my unique code, JMarian, you can get up to 40 minutes of clarity and insight for only $19.80. See, in this holiday season, you won't even break the bank, but most importantly, you will be able to get the clarity and insight you need because you get to pick and choose the advisor. So it's almost like this experience is curated specifically for you. If you feel like you haven't gotten that insight or clarity that you need from the advisor, you can get your money back. So it's all risk-free for you. Just check those details down below in the description box, okay? And also, if you want another alternative and you've been wanting a personal reading from me, just email me. We can touch base and then we will gather a consensus and see what we can do moving forward. Okay. But let's get into this reading. Divine, what is the message here today? Okay, so we have the Three of Wands. I feel like there is revisitation. So something could be getting revisited. Maybe something about unfinished business. Something here maybe about people holding on to maybe things that they didn't say or things that they didn't do. It's almost like there's an energy of revisiting something that maybe you held back on or someone else has held back on. Divine, can you tell me more about this Three of Wands energy? We have the Seven of Cups. This seems like it's something about a choice, maybe possibly even a decision. Maybe somebody wants to recant a decision. Maybe this was a decision to separate oneself, to be alone, be in a space where you would gather more insight about yourself. Maybe even something here about self-discovery and healing. Because I feel like with the Hermit here at the bottom of the deck, I do feel like there is like an indication of maybe someone going off to heal and then maybe returning back to a question or something that, maybe caused some type of disturbance of something with the Seven of Cups. Divine, tell me more specifically about the Seven of Cups. Uh, Yeah, so we have the Page of Pentacles as well as the Temperance. Like, it feels like somebody wants to revisit maybe possibly something that they offered you with the Seven of Cups, because I do feel like this could have possibly just been maybe like a conversation to dissolve something, to bring something to an end. But I feel like with the Temperance here as well, connected to this Page of Pentacles, I do feel like for someone else, this may have possibly been a journey of healing, a journey of change, a journey of just allowing things to be, allowing things to happen as they're supposed to happen, because it's something about just, like a flow. Divine, tell me more about the Temperance here with this Page of Pentacles. We have the Knight of Wands. Yeah, I do feel like this was a journey of discovery with the Knight of Wands. There was a lot that you were meant to obtain, and I do feel like this could possibly been about yourself. And if this is not about you, this is most certainly about someone else. And it does give that vibe with the Three of Wands, because I don't feel like you personally are intentionally returning back to someone. I feel like if there were individuals who did revisit you for good reason, I feel like at bare minimum, you will hear them out. But if it's something that you don't want to do, you're not going to do it. Divine, last one about this Knight of Wands concerning the Seven of Cups, and we have the Death. Yes, I feel like this is an individual who's going to come back and say that they've changed in some capacity or some way. It does give indication of, of change. Here for some people, if you feel like this isn't relative to you because maybe you started something very recently, a disconnection with someone very recently, but this does give, change over time. It doesn't give anything that was rushed, especially with the Temperance and the Death. The Death just is signification of something that is necessary, so some sort of changes, could have been someone's purpose in their life at a point in time. Divine, what else is here concerning this energy? We have the Nine of Pentacles. So I do feel like this Nine of Pentacles is your energy, is definitely giving like a singular type of vibe, one where you're okay, where you're minding your business, where you're tending to yourself. Divine, tell me more about this Nine of Pentacles. There are things you could be holding back on. Five of Wands. Divine, why the Five of Wands here? And then we have the Justice here. You know, I feel like someone's truth may be conflictual. Like someone's truth or someone's perception of a situation or the way they may explain something or something that's going on with somebody. I do feel like the truth of the matter is being called into question. Divine Five of Wands, the Justice. Because I feel like your trust in a way with the Six of Cups, yeah, this is definitely involving previous energies. I feel like your trust in a way has definitely been tainted by someone's actions, and I feel like this has caused you to be not aggressively, but in a defensive state, where you aren't as open, where you aren't as willing, to play people's games. Divine Six of Cups with this Justice and the Five of Wands. Yeah, Seven of Pentacles, 5, 6, 7 as a chronological synchronicity could be very significant. Queen of Swords at the bottom of the deck. Yeah, you are coming off in a way to whoever, this could be multiple individuals. You're coming off as very, cutthroat, given the bare minimum. Like I feel like there's not a lot that you give to certain situations. Divine Seven of Pentacles. Yeah, Six of Wands. Yeah. This is most certainly 76 could be significant. You could have been born in the year 1976. Yeah. I feel like what people, are getting ready to see, those individuals of the past in the space where, maybe things, were sort of lacking. But I feel like this is more so the way people are going to see you. This is the way people are viewing you. You're being as viewed as somebody who's about their business. I feel like if it's not about what you have going on with the Seven of Pentacles, if it's not about growth, if it's not concerning the work that you've done, the effort that you've put into, yourself with the Nine of Pentacles, like you're not going to get much. Like, and then also with the Six of Wands, I feel like people are now unfortunately starting to see your worth because of some sort of changes that you've made. People exiting out of your life was one of the best things that happened to you. In the beginning, it may not have felt good. It may have hurt a little bit, but I do feel like now you are literally about to become like an unstoppable force of nature. Like you are about to hit the ground running. And when you hit the ground running, like I feel like there's a focus that's going to take place. And then if there are significant others or valuable relationships that will come into connection, for you, they would have well been worth the wait, because I feel like the focus more so is yourself. Because if you're not a whole individual yourself, how are you going to bring another individual into a dynamic? Divine, last few messages concerning this energy. Is there anything else we need to know? We have the Ace of Cups. Yeah, I do feel like you're going to be in this energy. It's interesting that in the month of December, there's a lot of energy of people wanting to offer up things, offer up new forms of expression, new forms of emotion, new forms of love, come back to you and say things that they didn't say before, maybe come back to you admitting that, in some capacity that was, they were wrong, depending on what type of relationship it is. Divine, this Ace of Cups, what do we need to know? We have the Two of Pentacles. Yeah. I do feel like somebody is tossing and turning between like maybe like a decision, a choice, an option that was presented to the both of you, maybe a while ago. Six of Pentacles. Yeah, I do feel like somebody wants to offer something balanced to you, maybe give to you what you wanted in the first place. Divine, last one for this energy. Yeah, we have the Emperor. I feel like now, somebody wants to come in and be this knight in shining armor, be everything that you needed them to be back then. And once again, this doesn't feel like it's some type of nefarious energy or somebody that has ill intent behind, being in a connection with you. No, it just more so just feels like, somebody could possibly be taking a second shot at something. But for you, this may be conflictual because maybe just their reasoning, behind it isn't going to be a good enough explanation for you. Maybe you're just looking for something more. You're looking for something different. You're looking for something consistent. Divine, what closing messages can you give us? Okay. And there you have it. We have the energy of karmic coming out first. So third party relationship lesson learned. I do feel like there is about to be some sort of visitation from somebody that you've dealt with previously. Karmic, not a negative word. Karmic is more so the lesson behind something. And I feel like there is just something about unfinished business, even if this is something about closure, or just closing a specific chapter that maybe two people didn't say what it was at a given time, and it was just a ghosting type of situation. Divine, what else is here? And then we have turn. So party animals, sex, drugs, and alcohol, surface pleasures. I do feel like, maybe there could have been a lesson, within this karmic about, self-value, self-worth, with that nine of pentacles, that we saw earlier, because maybe this individual, brought on some habits that weren't the best for you. And maybe it did work for them. Maybe this is an individual who's bold, wild, and free. Once again, I'm seeing, in Aries, I don't know why, because there's nothing that would indicate it being in Aries, but I'm just seeing the word Aries. So and Aries could be significant. This could be somebody who likes to get out and have a good time, who likes to be the life of the party. Giving this false sense of wanting to settle down, because I do feel like the intention behind them wanting to settle down was actually pure. They just have poor execution. Divine, what else with this energy here? And then we have rebounds. So yeah, it's what they wanted. So flighty, temporary option, as well as unpredictable intentions. So yeah, this definitely is an energy, that could possibly, be a little erratic, which is why you probably saw the justice, you know, because I feel like there's a question, the justice with the five of wands, something may be conflictual to you. Like there's something about someone's truth that doesn't quite measure up to how they're expressing it. Yeah. See? Light bulb moment, a moment of clarity. Like I do feel like there was a moment where, where you felt like something isn't right, something isn't adding up, something isn't making sense. And I do feel like this is also just something that you just had to pay more attention to. So you could have been, being more aware of someone and their behaviors and things like that. And then just for the sake of it just being that, you maybe just decided that it just wasn't working. Something wasn't fulfilling there, something wasn't quite connecting. And maybe you're just like, let's just call it quits because it's not quite going anywhere. Nothing's happening here. Divine, what else is here? And then we have Bonnie and Clyde. Yeah. So ride or die, us against the world, dedicated partnership. So this definitely has something to do with some form of a partnership. Your good Judy, your ride or die. This could be a bestie. This could just be a friend. This could be your romantic partner. This could be one of those family members that you would consider a friend that you hang out with a lot. But this is definitely a close connection. But there's something about a lesson here because something is coming back. And that's what karma does. Karma continues to cycle until you learn the lesson, until you finally get it and you let something go, or you get something, you know? Divine, what else is here concerning this energy of Bonnie and Clyde? Yeah, and then we have lost. So ghosted, cowardice, as well as disappearing act. So just like I was saying earlier, this could be one of those situations where it just was a ghosted type of situation, and you could be coming back to reconcile, or there could just be some form of closure concerning particular relationships. And then we have another form of karma, so chain, so codependency, unhealthy attachment, as well as way down. I do feel like this all overall, for some of you all, is going to be something that you're going to be letting go. Divine, last few messages here with this energy. And then we have red flag. So yeah, warning signs. Take heed, as well as risky situation. Something isn't quite right, concerning you and someone else. And I don't feel like this is anything that you have to physically, be concerned about. It's more so maybe emotionally, and then for some people even mentally. Because I do feel like this could possibly just end up being a distraction, or just overall just a waste of time. And a waste of time because it just simply isn't going anywhere. And I do feel like, just for a lot of us, when we're done with previous situations, when something comes to an end the first time, sometimes it's best to just leave it alone the first time. And sometimes your feels are just your feels, and your feelings does not indicate a reconnection. It doesn't indicate reconciliation. Divine, tell me more about red flag, because something's problematic. And then we have numbing. So self-medicating addictions, as well as irrational behavior. Mm. Yeah, I feel like something could cause you a lot of trauma with you being reconnected to somebody, with recalling it, and with recalling, I just feel like there's just going to be a lot that's going to be called to your remembrance, and I feel like the things that will be called to your remembrance are going to be things that are going to trigger you, and you are going to begin to feel some type of way. Because I do feel like while you can still have love for someone, it doesn't mean that you're supposed to be together. Divine, last few messages. And then we have machismo. So masculine pride, toxic masculinity, meeting manly expectations. Because I feel like with this energy, I do feel like someone in some capacity could have been stubborn. I feel like this is somebody who possibly knew that something was supposed to come to an end. And maybe they just didn't want to see that happen. And it's understandable. It's understandable, but it's also just one of those things, right? You just gotta let me go. You gotta let me go. It's almost like it's one of those things where there's not another choice in the matter. It is you can try to do something politely, but sometimes that just doesn't land, and then sometimes you just have to be a little more direct. Okay, Divine, last one for this energy. Closing. Okay. And then we have skirt. So quick getaway, the runner escaping. So in this particular dynamic, I'll be honest, it's feeling like there will not be a reconciliation. I do feel like it will be diplomatic, because I do feel like there's no need for anybody to be disrespectful. We're both adults in the situation, or whatever, it is. I do feel like there is someone who is going to just say that no, I've had enough. I don't want to do it anymore, or let's just let bygones be bygones, or whatever. Okay, but for some of you, of course, free will is a thing, but there's a nod more so in the direction of no reconciliation. Okay. Pisces Soul Tribe, that was your reading. Hopefully, this message resonates with you in some way, shape, form, or fashion, and you're able to take something from it that you could use. Of course, if there's anything you need from me, you can find those details down below in the description box. And of course, that includes our sponsor, Psychic Source, because once again, Psychic Source has been a very valuable, resourceful tool, and I've gotten a lot of positive feedback from a lot of you all concerning Psychic Source and what it's done. Some of you all are glad that I've opened up personal readings again, but Psychic Source is still a very reputable, valuable source, and I still use it. Okay. But anywho, remember to conquer this day, you guys. Okay. And I'll see you in the network. Bye, guys.